Alright, so there's a lot of people on YouTube that got all these different ideas on how to build cages, how to build a retic cage, tegu cage, all these different types of cages. Everybody's preaching PVC as much as I like it because it's light and it's easy to work with. If you've got a retic, they stain bad. So they end up looking like absolute hell. Now, if you got the money to go out and buy PVC sheets, half inch at, $200 a pop, by all means go for it. So I built one cage using plywood. It was 3/4 inch, painted it, sealed it. Then I ended up using a 2-part epoxy, which is called clear coat. You can find it inside Lowe's, Home Depot, whatnot. And that's going to run you about $20. And I had just enough to do a 30 by 6.5 foot, so 30 inches, or so 2.5 foot by 6.5 foot area. I had barely enough to do just a skim coat. So probably be best to buy 2. That stuff stains too. So I'm trying something a little different. We'll see how it goes. This is called, they call it polywall, but basically it's a non-absorbent plastic material. You buy it at Home Depot. I think they got it listed as like Plastex, something along those lines. It's like an FRP, only this one I opted for. It's got a smoother texture and it doesn't have that McDonald's bathroom wall finish, which I'm sure that stuff would work fine. But I wanted to opt for the smoother texture. You can cut it just with a razor blade. It's super easy to cut. But to give you an idea on how you're going to get your walls built to get the most floor space out of a 4x8 sheet of plywood, you're actually going to need 2. I laid them out here. So basically what you're looking at is you've got one floor section, and then over here you've got yourself a back wall or a front face, either one, and then this is one of your sides right here. So what'll happen is this one will flip up. The one over on this end, it'll also flip up, so that you've got 2 of your 4 walls. The other piece is simply going to mirror image that. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut 18 inches off of the long end. So this one's going to have 18 inches is your depth from here to here. And then you've got another down at this end, from the very end going in, is also going to be 18 inches. This little square here, that's scrap. You burn it, do whatever you want with it. I don't care. So it's hot as hell here in the south of Texas. So anyway, that's pretty much where we're at now. The way you're going to apply this plastic, bear with me, this is my first video. I don't really do this crap much, but nobody else has done anything like this, so I figured I'd share. You've got this plastic board, just cut the size. This is a test piece. I'm using a scrap so I know what the hell I'm doing and get an idea on cure time, how well it's activating. Do I need to put more glue on it? So they call it FRP. I don't think there's any fiberglass in this. This is just plastic, but the manufacturer recommends that you use FRP adhesive. So as long as it says fiberglass reinforced panel adhesive, like it does right here, which is probably backwards because I'm using the mirror image so I can see what I'm doing, it will work for this stuff. I don't know how it stains. I don't know if get the snake in there. If you got retics, they urinate gallons multiple times a week, and it can get frustrating. Just with the cleanup, I don't mind cleaning it. It's trying to keep the inside of the cage looking nice. So that's what I'm trying to go for here. So yeah, I'm going to start putting this together, and I'll see if I can come up with another video to keep it posted. Alright, so here we go. Got the bottom or top, doesn't matter which one you want to call it, left or right side, and the back or front, whichever one you want to call it. That's all glued up. Do yourself a favor. If you're gonna do this, don't use a 2-inch trowel. That's all I had. Thought I had a bigger one. Thought wrong. Moving forward, I'm about to cut the next section. So to give you an idea of what I'm doing is literally just laying the damn wood on the panel, and I'm just gonna score it with a razor blade, and it's pretty easy to cut. You got a good sharp razor blade, you won't have no issues at all. Your big ones that you want to look at, and I lucked out and it worked out in my favor anyway, but what you really want to be careful about is you want to do your side and you want to do your long narrow piece, which I have on the back side of this. Anyway, your long narrow piece, which is going to be your front or your back, you want to do those first, and the reason being is that all three of those are going to sit on the edge of your large piece, which is going to be your bottom or your top, right? So if you cut a little too much or not enough for your bottom, it's not that big of a deal, as long as, granted this is 3/4 inch plywood, as long as you've got everything but, you know, the last ½ inch or so around 3 sides of that plywood, you're fine, because it's going to be covered up anyway with the other pieces. So no big deal there. But like I said, I'm going to score this with a knife and start gluing the next pieces. As far as my experience with the glue goes, it's kind of like a putty. It's like drywall mud. It goes on real easy. I haven't really come up with less is more or more is less, or, you know, however which way the amount you want to put on it. But I pretty much did a skim coat, made sure I didn't just have any globs. As I was scraping it along, I'll get a bunch of ridges along the along whatever I'm taking care of. So if I'm scraping along here, I'll get ridges on each side of the trowel, and I'll just end up spreading those out. So a bigger trowel will help you out. Also, whenever you're done, what I went and did was took one of these scrap pieces. Let's see if I can move this stuff around. Bear with me. Like I said, this is my first video series. I haven't done anything like this, and I'm just doing it for other people that probably are in my shoes and wish somebody had done it so they could see how it works. So bear with me 1 second so I don't make a damn mess in my garage, which is already there. So I'm working on a Raptor 250 for my son, and I ran out of parts, so I'm waiting for stuff to come in the mail. Alright, so this is your scrap piece, right? If you start in the center and you press firmly down and you drag it out to the edge, right, what you're going to do is get rid of all the air bubbles that are in there, in between the glue and the panel. And there's a lot. I tried using this little roller thing. This thing's garbage. So try working on something better, but that worked out pretty well. Alright, to be continued. Alright, and we're back. So I was thinking I hadn't shown y'all how much stuff I put on here, but this is what I do. Is it too much? Is it not enough? I don't know. But the others seem to be hanging out pretty well. So hopefully it's just the right amount, and I lucked up, or lucked out, rather. Fucked up and got it right. Alright, I'm going to put these on, and we'll go from there. Alright, so about 2 months ago I was working on this damn cage for everybody, showing how the FRP works, or the plastic panel that I was using, and life happens. I got busy. So anyway, I wanted to make a follow-up video, now that it's all put together, kind of give you a the trials and tribulations I went through finishing this thing. So keep in mind, I'm just getting ready to clean, so anybody who's going to say, oh, what the hell, all that crap, I got to clean my cages, but I was walking in here, I thought I hadn't finished up the video. So here's what we got going. I got my Lav Motley Tiger male in there. He was produced by Jim Jolly, who's just absolutely fantastic. Awesome dude. So now that this cage is all together, if you're wondering about this stand, I really just built this. It's just a sheet of paneling. I think it's about 10 inches high, and I just painted it. It was just get it up off the floor. I hate having to work on the floor non-stop to do everything. It bugs me. So anyway, trials and tribulations. So the paneling is working out fantastic. Hasn't really started staining. No issues there. This track here, a lot of people ask about track, and I don't know if there we go. So I don't know if people know about this track. This is a door track that is sold on Amazon and Walmart. Just type in plastic door track, and it's made for 1/4-inch panels. You can put 1/4-inch glass in it. This glass is 18 inches, 17.5 inches tall, 40 inches wide, and they slide fine. I was worried that they'd be too heavy and they'd end up scraping the track up, and it'd just ruin it over time. And it doesn't. They're fine. This lock, I got it from Lowe's. They're not the best locks. The screws tend to rust, so I end up replacing them every so often. I just use a Gorilla Glue, like a contractor's adhesive, to attach the track. What you want to do is, whenever you're measuring from here to here, and if you followed my whole directions, you should be 18 inches from here to here, minus however thick the plastic is, right? And the same thing down on the other end as well. You want to shorten this glass by about a 1/2 inch so that you have enough room. This glass is going to slide up here and then swing in, so it'll then sit in this thinner track. Because if you look here, this track is real thin and this track's real tall. So that way you can lift the glass up, swing the bottom out, and the whole glass comes out. Now, another thing is, when you go to measure it, you want this to overlap. Now, when I did my measurements here, I was a little too accurate. The glass literally met on both sides of this brace, and I'll explain what those braces are here in a second. And I wasn't able to get this lock on. So, this is a temporary fix. Once I get some more time, I'll finish it up. But, basically I just took another one of these supports, put it at both ends, so the glass only opens, only closes so far, I guess you could say. So I actually have some overlap, so I can get the lock on. Don't mind my big, she just made a mess, and I'm worried I'll be cleaning her next. And her mouth is hanging open. She just ate last night. Anyway, so the cage has been going really well. He's all over the place, likes making a mess, is what he does. I got a radiant heat panel in here, made by, I picked it up from Animal Plastics. I guess it's a Reptile Basics. It works fine. I've had no issues with their stuff. This is that cage I was telling you about. This one's about to be replaced. If you can see, like, just the sides of the walls, and I scrubbed this cage, and I scrubbed this cage, and plywood and paint, and then whatever you want to put on it, it just doesn't work. Again, she shed last night, so you guys can, all your cages look like crap. Yeah, well, they do, because I'm coming out here to clean them, so settle down. Anyway, I got a Pro Products radiant heat panel, this one. To be honest with you, I haven't seen the difference. They both work fine. If you want to spend the money on Pro Products, you swear by them, that's fine. But I've also had Reptile Basics in another cage that I built up top, and I haven't had any issues with them. None. Haven't even had fuses blow out. I use their Vivarium electronics. They work fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If anybody's got any questions, let me know. Almost right. So this part right here, these braces, these are PVC. It's like a 3/4 by 2 inch, they call it, and it's just a trim board. So let's see if I can find a scrap laying around here so you can kind of get a better idea of what they look like. Oh, here we go. So on one side, it's got this wood texture, right? And it's smooth on the other three. They're actually quite rigid. They're pretty strong. And I've got an 80-pound, 15-foot female, her cage, which probably weighs another 80 pounds. I've got plenty of weight sitting on this thing. And these, I mean, they're holding up great. I don't have any bowing or anything. But yeah, I guess this is going to complete that series that I started on 2 months ago, because it's now, oh God, it's 3 months ago. It's now November. I started this in September, but just never finished it. The edges, I'm sure you saw, were still exposed. They're going to get coated with a contact paper that'll seal them. They'll be fine. But yeah, that's what I got going on. If you got any questions, let me know. I'm going to try and post this and after I get it all edited. So appreciate the view, and if everybody likes this kind of stuff, maybe I'll do more. Who knows? I'm one of them damn YouTube stars or something. Doubt it. Thanks.